Yes, Bob and I are talking records.
Yo, VC, what's up? While I've got Jeffrey Lee Puckett captive, I thought that maybe we would do some recent finds with him. He has quite a stack here, 20-something records.
I'm actually a little bit embarrassed by how many records have accumulated.
But I thought it would be cool to see what Jeffrey has been up to. So,
all right,
let's take a look at some of these.
Well, it's a mix of old and new.
You can hand them to me when you're done.
This is the Black Market Brass. It's a band that records for the Coal Mine label, which is doing some really interesting stuff.
Very cool cover, by the way.
The music is incredible. The mastering for vinyl, not so much, but it's a testament to how fun and great the music is that I don't really mind so much that it sounds like an MP3. This I just got, I haven't opened yet. This is the Acoustic Sounds series. This is Decca, Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee, do not sleep on Peggy Lee. Her records are available used for a few bucks everywhere, and she is a baller.
Black Coffee.
Yeah. This, of course, is a tone poet. This got a lot of attention when it first came out, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Yeah, based on top.
It's really great. I have no qualms about owning that. I'm happy about it.
A lot of people are talking about this and how great it sounds. So.
Yeah. This is Lamb Chop, one of my favorite bands. They are such a bunch of weirdos. They are so great, and I love them especially because they're based in Nashville, where bands like this just do not exist.
Right.
And this is sort of an EP. You know, there are about 8 songs on it, and they're doing their weird covers of Wilco songs and whatnot. I've been on a real roll with Roland Kirk. I just found this a few days ago. This is a double album. I got this at the Honey Hole, the Jazz Honey Hole that Bob and I frequent, whose name shall never be mentioned. I really like Chris Connor. She's a singer who I used to be a little bit suspicious of. I used to kind of think that maybe she was a little too vanilla, but it turns out that she's not. So as I finally started to listen to my Chris Connor records, I've really gotten into her, and I stumbled onto a whole batch of really great condition albums. This is Nat King Cole. I had a reissue of this album that was one of those electronically rechanneled things, and I gave it away to a buddy of mine without a second thought, and then he started texting me about how incredible the record was, and he listened to it every day at dinner time, and of course I immediately had to go find another copy of it because I was angry that I gave it away. This is Henry Mancini. This combo album was just featured on a Michael Frimmer video, and I love cocktail jazz. I love just kind of light jazz. You know, I don't always have to get into my head. I just like things to sound cool. This is a really cool sounding record. I like it a lot.
I want this record. I've been looking for it. A lot of these records in the stack I've been looking for, and I'm a bit jealous about it.
This is yet another Kirk album, other people's music, or other folks' music. Is it other folks? Yeah, other folks' music. I have not listened to this yet. I just cleaned it. I'm looking forward to that. This is one of my favorite new covers. This is Hugh Masekela. This is the Americanization of Ooga Booga. There's no way this is not going to be a great record. I am psyched about putting that on.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
This was one of the first, was this Tone Poet or 80th?
That's for Tone Poet. Yeah.
This is one of the first Tone Poets they put out, and I put off getting it for a long time, and finally I decided, what the hell?
Funky.
It is so good.
Yeah, super funky.
So good. This came to me via Spotify suggestions. This is Smokey Hormel from the Blasters, and what's her name? Miho whatever from Chibamata.
Killer.
That is a great record. That is a really great record.
Wow.
Bob just bought this one as well. This is, of course, one of the most famous jazz records ever. I got this to complete. I love Cannonball Adderley, but I got this mostly to keep my Bill Evans collection complete.
I can talk about this. This sounds incredible, by the way. I have a Liberty. Showed it in my last video, and this throttles the Liberty.
Wow.
It does, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
Throttles is a strong word.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, that's probably in the price range, its biggest competition, I would say. If you kind of have interest in wanting an original pressing of the record, the Liberty would be closest in price to the Classic Series, and the Classic Series just sounds so much better.
Yeah. I bought these. I got the Steve Hoffman forums often have people just getting rid of records for cheap. I got these for $4 each. Neil Young, American Stars and Bars, one of my favorite Neil Young records.
Great record.
There's a Riot Going On, Sly and Family Stone, one of the great records of all time, regardless.
Talking about fun.
So I got those to give away to people. Bob already has them. He's cool. But I'll find someone who wants them. I think maybe I mentioned these last time. I've been buying a bunch of Talk Talk reissues because I don't want to spend all the money for the originals. But Talk Talk, I've really discovered that I like Talk Talk a lot. I'm really into Talk Talk.
They're very nice.
They sound pretty good too. They're not bad. They're good. They're a good value. This I've been wanting for a long time. This is an OG pressing of Lou Reed's New York album. This is one of my favorite Lou Reed albums, and I'm really happy to finally have this.
Clean looking stuff too, by the way.
This is another Hugh Masekela, which still has I just bought this a few days ago. It still has the price, the receipt in there. It has this great message on the back, which I think we should all adapt just as a way of life. Hugh Masekela he's a deep well.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another Roland Kirk album. This one is super interesting, kind of sad. This was his last album.
Oh, really?
And he had this stroke, I believe it was, a massive stroke, and he had lost the use of his right hand, and he taught himself to play all his instruments using just his left hand only.
Wow. So
it's a more simplified way of playing, but he brought in some like a string quartet and stuff. He makes it work somehow. It's not the actual playing is not as good as some other albums, but there's a real feeling about that record that works for me. This is a crazy Kirk album. He's using all sort of sound samples and like found sound and stuff. This is a really fascinating record. It's a 3-sided album, so you get a 1-side blank, which can be useful.
Wow, this is incredible.
This I put off buying for a while, but I got such a good deal on it. I got this for $20 delivered. This, of course, is the infamous album where everybody rejects it because there's like 2 seconds of warbly piano. Well, those people can just go to hell.
I want this record. I've been looking for it for quite some time. It's sold out everywhere. I should have got it when it was available.
That's another Tone Poet, by the way.
Yeah, it's a Tone Poet, and I'm going to get it.
This one, my brother turned me on to this. He sent me a Spotify link to this band. It's a soul duo, soul R&B duo, Simtek and Wiley. And he sent me their version of Maggie May, and I lost my mind. It's so good. Bob, I think this could be a candidate for This Blew My Mind.
Oh, really?
When this video's over, I'm going to crank this up at maximum
Let me keep this
volume.
on the top then.
This was back when alternative college rock was an actual thing. This band, Glass Eye, was out of Austin, Texas. And it's real oddball pop music, real cerebral. And I just randomly decided to buy that. I bought this Leadbelly album because Herb Reichert was talking about it in one of his columns. It is very depressing. If you're sad, do not buy that record. This is another new one. It's a reissue of Mercury Rev's Deserter Songs. I've always been curious about this, and it was pretty cheap. It was, well, $16 brand new. I have no idea if it's a good reissue, if it's an okay reissue, but I'm glad to finally have it. And finally, of course, a classic. This is Blue Note 80th anniversary of Speak No Evil. I had the 75th anniversary copy of this, and it's so horrendous that I never listened to it.
Wow.
It made me angry. It's so bad. And of course, the 80th anniversary reissues are all great.
Yes.
So that is a thick slab of wax, my friends.
Yes. Man, oh man. Well, thanks, Jeffrey.
Sure, I don't regret buying any of those.
This is a fantastic stack of records. This is some people's record collection. Anyway, yeah. Until we meet again, Bob out.
Jeffrey Lee out.
Hiking up to the Nepali coast here. This is the Jurassic Park area. It's a pretty decent little hike. Just resting for a moment, try to get some cool air on us. It's about 90 out here today, so